From champions versus champions to the traditional 5-on-5 elimination tag team matchups, the WWE is trying to put on the greatest brand warfare Survivor Series of all time. Welcome everybody to your updated 31st annual 2017 Survivor Series preview and predictions. This is Webby, and as some of you know, this past Sunday I made my first preview and predictions video, and the final Raw and SmackDown before the Survivor Series, a lot has changed to this event. So much that I had to come on here and redo this because, let's face it, some of these matches are now even more interesting and more invested for us wrestling fans than they were before. Because, quite frankly, Alexa Bliss versus Natalya really wasn't something for us to get invested and get our teeth just locked into. Not really. Charlotte being the new women's champion, absolutely. Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte. That should be a great matchup for us to see. The two women that the WWE have put the most into over the past few years, going head on head to see who is the best in the WWE. We'll find out at the Survivor Series. It really would make the most sense that Alexa Bliss would win, considering that she will eventually drop that championship to Asuka. Can very well see that happening. Have her beat Charlotte. Get her stronger. That way, Asuka will look stronger when she beats Alexa Bliss. Will that happen at the Survivor Series? Remains to be seen. But I'm going with Alexa Bliss in that contest. The women's 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series matchup. Look, this is pretty much all the women in the Survivor Series matchup from both brands. One thing that we need to really think about is who's going to replace Charlotte now. They announced that Charlotte is not in this matchup anymore. As we are aware, Paige is back, according to rumors, with the WWE. It was rumored that Paige was going to be on Team Raw. Be on Raw this past Monday and be on Team Raw for the Survivor Series and be in a Fatal 4-Way matchup. Now, that didn't happen. Bayley's in that spot. So, could Paige end up being that fifth woman for Team SmackDown? WWE just all of a sudden just decide to move Paige to SmackDown? That would be a good thing for her. You know, something fresh, something new. We've seen Paige on Raw the entire time she's been on the main roster. Give her a new brand to compete on. So why don't we just move her over to SmackDown and see what she can do on there and see what goes on. But I think Paige is going to be the fifth woman to replace Charlotte. And honestly, if there's one match that SmackDown will win, I think it will be the Raw versus SmackDown women's matchup. Because let's just face it, the 5-on-5 traditional men's match, there's no chance with Triple H, Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman, Balor, Joe. With that tag team, there's no chance for SmackDown to win. Now, on the flip side of the women's matchup, they can find some way to eliminate Asuka by disqualification or by countout to protect her. Because I know everybody is worried about that Asuka might get buried at the Survivor Series if they pull something where SmackDown might win. What will happen to Asuka? Well, WWE's eyes, she's protected that way, and SmackDown could win. So, I think if any match, they will win that match. The Shield versus the New Day. This contest, based off of Roman Reigns pretty much needing a match at the Survivor Series. That's number one. Number two, this is based off of the New Day invading Raw and costing Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose the Tag Team Championship and naming Cesaro and Sheamus the Tag Team Champions. That's number two. And number three, it also has to do with the Usos, if you ask me. Because the Usos is the best tag team in the WWE today as far as how the WWE uses them, how they produce, how they have worked as a tag team, how they have just groomed and grew since becoming heels. They have done a tremendous job, and there is absolutely no way the Usos would have been able to beat Roman Reigns' partners, buddies, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. There's no way WWE would have allowed them to do that. So, what do? You take the Tag Team Championship off of Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. You give it to Cesaro and Sheamus. They lose at the Survivor Series to the Usos. Will it be a classic tag team matchup? Absolutely. But will Cesaro and Sheamus win? No. As far as the Shield and the New Day is concerned, look, do I agree with Corey Graves when he says that it's the two greatest factions in WWE history? Absolutely not. Are they two good factions? Yes. But this match is going to be good. I guess you could say that. It's going to be a match that is going to build Roman Reigns up. At least WWE thinks it's going to build Roman Reigns up. To me, it's going to make me cringe because WWE thinks, and they had this idea, that with the Shield, him being in the Shield, it's helping Roman Reigns. He's getting all these cheers, right? And they're putting him up against the New Day. Well, this is going to be a spectacular match. So that's going to help him get over. And him being with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, that's going to help him get over too. Well, tell you what. They pointed something out on SmackDown. The New Day will still be together after Survivor Series going into WrestleMania. The Shield will not going into WrestleMania. And you know what? Going into WrestleMania, the fans will boo Roman Reigns. And this whole Shield experiment will be an epic failure of trying to get Roman Reigns over and help Roman Reigns on his way to facing Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship, because we know that's where that's going. Now, the Shield will win at the Survivor Series, and it will be a good contest. Don't get me wrong. Not complaining about that. The one match I am going to complain about, and it's going to be absolutely boring, and that is The Miz versus Baron Corbin, Intercontinental Champion versus the United States Champion. Do I like The Miz? Yes. Do I like Baron Corbin? Yes. Does this match make sense? No. It's The Miz who has been doing absolutely nothing on Monday Night Raw except telling everybody that he's going to make Baron Corbin SmackDown's bathroom break. That's it. And Baron Corbin pretty much said that, he's going to take out The Miz, because he's not the best talker, really. Baron Corbin isn't. So this whole rivalry has been built up on social media, and if you don't follow Twitter, then you don't really know what this rivalry has all been about, besides it's the Intercontinental Champion versus the United States Champion. And ultimately, that's it. And ultimately, Baron Corbin needs to win to get a bigger push. And it would help him more to beat somebody like The Miz, who honestly has hit his peak. They're not doing anything with him, but as far as holding the Intercontinental Championship, he can't do any more than what he's done. If you look at what he's did on SmackDown, what he's done on Raw, what Vince McMahon's going to allow him to do on Raw, he's at his peak. So beating The Miz would make more sense. Will the WWE go with that? Probably not, because they're higher on The Miz than they are Baron Corbin. So, the men's 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series elimination tag team matchup. This contest, look, it's simple. It all changed when the crybaby, the wine bag, the useless talent of Jason Jordan got tossed to the side, got buried on Monday Night Raw, got kicked to the curb on Monday Night Raw, when lots of people's complaints got answered, wishes got answered, and Triple H stepped in. When something actually made sense that WWE did. They put Jason Jordan and John Cena as the two final men for Raw and SmackDown. And everybody looked at this and said, what? WWE, have you lost your mind? Look at everything John Cena's done and look at what Jason Jordan's done. And you add that up, and Jason Jordan is like, whoa, doesn't even belong. So what does WWE do? They say, we got to do something about this. And poof, Jason Jordan's out the next week, and Triple H steps in. What does this do? Builds for WrestleMania. Gets people more intrigued into the Survivor Series and hopefully probably helps out selling the tickets at the Survivor Series because tickets are still on sale. Enzo versus Kalisto for the Cruiserweight Championship. Who cares? I don't. You don't. There you go. Enzo will probably win. They're not going to build the Cruiserweight division around Kalisto, Lucha, and all 20 people that he gets a response out of. And finally, the match everybody has been waiting for and is just going to be awesome. We're hoping. And that is Brock Lesnar, the Universal Champion, versus WWE Champion AJ Styles. This match, we were all cringing. We were all dreading. We were all probably thinking we are canceling the WWE network because it was announced that it was the modern day Falharaja, Jinder Mahal, Mr. Steroids himself versus Brock Lesnar. And nobody wanted to see it. Nobody. So what did WWE do? They pulled the trigger on that match. They ripped it apart. And they gave us AJ Styles defeating Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship on SmackDown last week. And Brock Lesnar and AJ Styles are headlining the Survivor Series. And I am hoping that it's not AJ Styles just taking a trip to Suplex City and then eating an F5 for a 1, 2, and 3. I am hoping that we have a decent match. It's called a dream match that everybody wants to see. Well, let's make it a dream match that everybody wants to see. Let's produce a dream match that everybody wants to see, WWE. Okay? Don't make it a match that you say is a dream match and then Brock Lesnar goes in there and eats alive AJ Styles. Paul Heyman cut an awesome promo on Raw. Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles cut an awesome promo on SmackDown. Build that momentum into the Survivor Series and produce it. Produce that match that everybody wants to see. That's number one. Number two, you had the belt on AJ Styles. If you go in there, and I know that AJ Styles is one of those superstars that no matter how much you do to him, and I shouldn't be saying this because I'm probably giving WWE something that they can probably use, and they're probably feeding in their minds of some writers watching me right now. But I know that AJ Styles, no matter how much you do to him, nothing's going to affect him because everybody just absolutely just loves his character. He's one of those guys. Can't be damaged. I get it. But he has a WWE Championship. It was a breath of fresh air on SmackDown tonight. Awesome. Without Jinder Mahal being the champion. If he goes into the Survivor Series and gets eaten alive by Brock Lesnar, that takes some of that prominence, some of that legitness, and brings it down a little bit. If he goes in there and has an awesome match with him after this hype that you're giving us, even if it has been just 1 week, think about how much better you've made what you call the B brand, the B show, the B championship. Even though the B championship, in my eyes, is their main title. Forget about the Universal Championship. I don't care if it is on Brock Lesnar. So, AJ Styles needs to look dominant, or at least strong, at Survivor Series. AJ Styles doesn't need to just eat suplexes all night and lose. AJ Styles needs to at least hit 1 or 2 phenomenal forearms or a Styles Clash or something on Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. And I realize he's going to lose to Brock Lesnar, no question about that. The only person that's going to beat Brock Lesnar is Roman. I cringe every time I see him, Reigns. But AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar needs to be a great match at the Survivor Series. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for all notifications. Sunday, tune in for my review of the Survivor Series. I'll have Clowney as a special guest. Tune in for that. Should be entertaining. Last time he was here, it was the Backlash review. He did a great job helping me out then when I was away for a while. I'm sure he'll do an awesome job again. Should be entertaining. Tune in for that. Go back and watch Raw review last night where Triple H made his return and embarrassed Jason Jordan, which everybody loved in that arena. And go back and watch all the classic Survivor Series, King of the Ring reviews, amongst everything else. Follow me on Facebook at 2007 Webby. Until I see you again, this is Webby, and I'll catch you on the other side. Talk to you later.